Welcome to Party Girl Interrupted. This is the podcast where we talk about reinvention, identity shifts, pivots, and everything else on your way to purpose. Today, I'm sitting here with Megan Klein, who's the founder and CEO of Little Saints, which you might recognize as the fastest growing non-alcoholic beverage, as well as her appearance on Shark Tank. Welcome to Party Girl Interrupted, Megan.
I am so happy to be here with you, Kathy. This is so fun.
Let's try the same number.
We're in our natural habitat, in our glasses.
Literally just, yeah, we're coming off of just seeing each other at Summit at Sea. And for those of you who don't know, Summit at Sea is the flagship of Summit, which is this amazing global community of founders, entrepreneurs, creatives, disruptors. And we were just on that the cruise line of Virgin, right? Virgin Cruise Line.
On the Virgin Cruise Line.
And just had the most amazing time.
We
How
did.
are you feeling post-Summit?
I haven't stopped. We dropped in at 6 a.m. and we didn't go to bed either. And then I went to New York and then I came to LA. So I'm just on pure adrenaline.
Well, yeah. Well,
these glasses are helping me. So thank you. I feel great.
By the way, I love your aesthetic. I love the Instagram, Little Saints Instagram. Like, it is just so unique, authentically you, and like educational. Like, I know you've talked about, because obviously the mushrooms are the adaptogens are in your brand, but like it's just been so fun, and I've always loved that about you. How did it feel bringing like your unique essence and self to a Shark Tank? Because when you walked out, by the way, we were all having these watch parties across the nation.
I'm so grateful that this made me so happy.
And your emerald green suit, you just walked out there, and I was like, oh my God, she's amazing. What did Shark Tank actually feel like?
It felt like, it's kind of wild because you do prepare for it. Like that first 90-second thing, like pitch that you say, you have to memorize that. And that has to be like said word for word. And then the rest of the time you're out there, it's just totally natural and there's no scripting. And I'm not good with scripts. So I was like, oh my God, just like, let me get through this 90 seconds and say it correctly. So it's kind of wild. You just go there, you sit in your little trailer, like waiting to go out. There's I think there were 5 entrepreneurs pitching on the same day. And I was at the end of the day. So I'm just sort of like in my little green room, like I was dancing around. I was just trying to keep my vibe high. And I was really nervous, but luckily it happens really quickly. All of a sudden they're just like, okay, walk and go. And the walk down that hallway where there's like sharks on the sides of the walls and they have the camera on you. I felt like I looked really unnatural because all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, it's in my face. But then actually when you pitch, the sharks are far away from you and that felt totally natural. It was really fun.
Oh yeah, awesome.
I was nervous. And then, it's, after you get through your pitch, then they just start firing questions at you, like rapid fire. Yeah. And so I just felt like all I had time to do was react. I was shocked. I was up there talking to them for 45 minutes and, they air like 10 minutes of the show or whatever. Wow. I was convinced that I was only up there for like 5 minutes. Like I felt like it said nothing when it ended.
No
time just went away. So it was a great experience. They make you really prepare. Like I was more prepared for Shark Tank than I've been for some like real investor meetings. Like they know everything about your company. It feels like very real. Right. I was convinced that Mark Cuban would look at Little Saints and be like, I need to invest. And he did not. So when he decided he didn't want to invest in the category, and then I got 3 offers. I got one from Mr. Wonderful. That was a terrible offer. I got one from Rashawn Williams. That was like a less terrible offer. And then they came in together and gave me an equally less terrible offer. And it was just like the valuations didn't make any sense. Yeah. So I said no, but I feel it's kind of a wild world that I did that. You think back to, you're like, oh my God, that happened.
It's going to be like an experience that sticks forever, for sure.
Yeah.
So let's start from the beginning. What did your life look like before Little Saints?
Oh my God. Well, before Little Saints, the Met Gala is happening today. So my friends and I have been talking about the aughts in New York a lot because I am 47. So I moved to New York in 2001 and I was like the bungalow 8 years. And then it was so fun. And all the first it was bungalow 8, then it was Beatrice. And that was the years of no cell phone clubs, knowing the bouncer, certainly there were clubs where people paid to get in, but it was the cool years. And so my life then, I didn't have a cool career at all. I was a paralegal. My friends were in fashion. So because of them, I could get into places, but that was Party Girl Interrupted. I was just totally, didn't really have much purpose. Just had a great time all the time. Drank a lot of alcohol. like put a bunch of stuff up my nose,
For your honesty.
And yeah, it was a wild time. I would say like I lived in New York from 2001 to 2011.
Oh, we just missed each other.
Did
I'm
we?
from New York.
Yeah.
But I started working in the clubs in like 2011.
Which club did you work at?
Estelle, I was the host
That's
of
right.
Estelle.
So that was 2011. We just missed each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was just such a wild time. I feel so lucky to have sort of like grown up in New York. In
Every
that
person
time
that
period.
is going to be on this podcast, if they got to party in New York or Vegas or LA, or like says the same thing. You know what I mean? Like we know we're very lucky. Pre-phones, pre-social media. Like if phones were around when we were partying, I feel like a lot of people would have gotten into a lot of trouble.
Oh God. Oh my Lord. Like I would have gotten kicked out of every club. Like God, no, you know. So I partied a lot. I mean, I always have been sort of like, I just like going out and having a good time. I'm a natural extrovert. I feel like I'm becoming more introverted in my like after 45
The circle
years.
gets smaller, like less F given.
Yeah, like I give no, like I never really feel like I have, but I definitely don't give any. So then I moved to Chicago in 2012, and that's when I started being an entrepreneur. So I got a, you know, it's like a lot of, had my law degree, I went to law school, and I was kind of like doing these very corporate jobs, and it just, my personal life and my professional life felt so not aligned. It didn't even feel like I was like the same person at all.
Wow.
And I started getting really passionate about like what I put in my body because I had like chronic pain for 3 years. I got diagnosed with fibromyalgia. I don't know if you know what that is. It's basically like when your whole like trunk in my case, it was my back.
Okay.
Like I was never not in back pain for 3 full years.
Wow.
And it was actually like the best thing that ever happened to me because I had to like think about like how inflammatory all of the things I was doing, you know, like partying, like drinking, like never sleeping, like, you know, just like mainlining coffee all the time. And so that was the first time I started to kind of like think about my health. And that's what got me into doing all these food and beverage startups, which I've been doing since, 2013.
Wow, that's amazing. What was your first startup? What were the
So it
first
wasn't,
ones?
I didn't start it on my own. There was this indoor farm. So it grew basil like inside of a warehouse with LED lights, and it was called Farmed Here. And I was not one of the founders. I totally stalked them. That's how I got out of being a lawyer into being an entrepreneur. I like found a business that I liked. I was like obsessed with the concept of vertical farming. You know, there'll be like 9 billion people on the planet by 2050. Everyone's going to need to have like local produce. Where are they going to get it? We should be growing it in cities. And so I found the place in the US that was doing that like on the biggest scale. And it was in Chicago called Farmed Here. And I grew up in Wisconsin.
Okay.
I was kind of like wanting a change from New York after 10 years. So I moved to Chicago and pretty much just stalked Farmed Here until they hired me. That's how I made the jump from being a lawyer to being an entrepreneur. I worked for Equity only for like the first 6 months, helped them raise money, sort of made myself indispensable. And that's like how I started.
Amazing. That's so cool. So would you say in that, I obviously like to call it your interruption, but you know, what was the moment where there was that shift outside of the chronic pain? Was there anything where, you know, it didn't feel good anymore to be out partying or drinking?
You know, I mean, that only happened honestly recently. So I was doing all the food and beverage stuff. So I ran a hydroponic basil farm, and then I had like a plant-based salad dressing dip and juice company.
Oh, wow.
And then in 2020, I actually left those companies. So I co-founded that salad dressing dip and juice company.
Oh, wow.
And then I never felt totally aligned with my business partners. They're great guys. So I left the week before COVID hit in 2020. And that was my like party girl interrupted phase, because that's when I really kind of noticed I still kept drinking by myself. Like we were all doing those lame like Zoom happy hours. And I was living in Chicago, just super shut down. Like no one was really going out. Like 3 of my best friends got pregnant during that time, which was like beautiful, but then also like I had no one to hang out with. So I was kind of like drinking. Negronis were my thing. So I was like making all these Negronis by myself and just realizing that like I wasn't blacking out. I wasn't drinking during the day, but I just had low-grade fog and like low-grade depression all the time. And I couldn't escape, you know, just like at my home, like I couldn't escape how much I was sort of dimming my energy. And so that's when I started really like rethinking, like, well, obviously no one was really partying during that time, but just like kind of rethinking my drinking.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's actually very, very interesting that there's a lot of parallels with our journey during COVID, because pandemic shifted so much for so many people, but it forced us to be home alone to take like a real look at our habits and our rituals. So where I was during pandemic when it hit in April 2020, or March 2020, I was in Thailand by myself and I didn't even know if I could come back to New York. And, I was like asking the embassy, can I come home? Like it was a wild time. But anyway, I was doing the exact same thing. It was a Xanax and wine combo for me to sleep and not be,
In Thailand?
In Thailand, probably like a week or so. And then so prior to that, I had to spend 14 days at a yoga and breathwork retreat. So I was like, what am I doing? Like, I just learned these modalities to help me, like, calm my anxiety. And then from there, that was the catalyst and the start to my breathwork journey, which eventually took me to my purpose as a breathwork coach. So super interesting that there's a lot of parallels there.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
that for
Did
us.
you ever feel that? Like, I always felt like I was like, oh, and during that time, like before I started Little Saints, I've been meditating in the morning. I've been doing yoga for like 15 years at this point. But so I was like, I felt like I had a strong wellness practice. And then it was like, wellness during the day. And then like cocktail hour would start at night. And I just realized like during COVID, I just couldn't escape that like that was just not aligned at all. And I was just spending half of my morning trying to get back to baseline.
Yeah, no, 100%. I get that. And so you have a very work hard, play hard from the, your background and even into now. However, the way that I see you is that you bring play into your work so that it's like passionate and purposeful. And I really do love that. I think I got to take these off.
Yeah, I know. They're kind of tickling, right?
They are.
They started,
But it's also, I want to see your beautiful face.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And so I read that you tried and failed 15 times to do dry January.
I did.
What kept pulling you back to the drinking, I guess?
I mean, I think, well, first of all, I have like a very like addictive chemistry.
Okay.
Like, so I definitely, like, there's a lot of alcoholism in my family. So like, there's that part where I feel like chemically, like even when I would take time off drinking, I would always be thinking about it. Mm-hmm. So, and then also why would I come back to drinking and go back and forth? I always knew that like alcohol, like I always kind of wondered, I'm like, do I get more hungover than other people? Am I just drinking more than other people? Mm-hmm. I could never escape like how kind of bad it made me feel. And then I was just drinking so much coffee during the day. And then I started working with like plant medicine with ayahuasca really early, like before, like in 2014.
Oh yeah. Before it was
before it was cool or whatever. And so, and then I knew from that, like, you can't drink for 2 weeks before, you can't drink for 2 weeks after. And that sort of made me start thinking about like how alcohol like really affected my energetic field. So I knew that it did, but I didn't stop.
Yeah.
Like I was just kind of, it was like this, the knowledge would make me feel like guilty. It'd bring up all my Catholic guilt, but I wouldn't like stop doing it.
Mm-hmm. I know so much about Catholic guilt.
You do?
My first guest, actually, Mia, we knew each other from Party World, and now she's like an intuitive coach, was very successful. But we both talked about that quite a bit in the first episode of the podcast because we were raised with Catholic guilt. Like I was raised Catholic. I went to Catholic school my entire primary years. And then, even as of recent, it's taken a lot to rewire that. But then there is like, it's interesting because like the Catholic Church, we're drinking wine or we're drinking Jesus' body, but it's a really taboo thing, alcohol, in most Catholic families. Also, I do want to talk about the drink. Cheers again.
Oh yeah, cheers again. I'm going to keep on pouring this for myself. I'm actually feeling a little bit better. So it has like a supplement grade lion's mane in it.
Okay.
And on days for me, when I've had too much coffee, which I did today, it makes me kind of feel like I'm like evened out.
Amazing. Yeah. And that's, so yeah, let's talk a little bit about the adaptogens and all the yummy stuff. This is the bottle.
So here, I'm going to pour myself some more.
Yep.
So I started these because I have been putting, I don't know if you do this, but I had been putting mushroom extracts in my coffee for a long time. Mm-hmm. And I knew that kind of like took the edge off of it and made it feel more just like consistent and even and like more easeful. Okay. And so I really loved working with functional mushrooms during the day. And then I wanted to have that at night because I was like, oh, that like feeling that you get from your first sip of tequila or wine where you just like feel a little smarter and like a little more present. Yeah,
you're up.
I feel like lion's mane really gives that, especially when it's in a super bioavailable format like we have in Little Saints.
Beautiful bottle.
Thank you.
I want to get some of the cans.
Oh yeah, I brought some for you.
My favorite because I was a tequila. I stopped drinking last year. I think I mentioned.
Yeah.
And
how long has it been for you?
It's been since last January, so a year and a half. But it's actually very easy to be sober in California because like every menu has a mocktail or an adaptogen drink, and I heard like people love being California sober.
Yeah.
Which is like we don't drink alcohol. Maybe we do other things.
Have you heard of Berlin sober? Like
I just heard that on the boat. What is that?
I think Anne said that to you.
Yeah.
I mean, I always thought of California sober as being cannabis.
Yeah.
And so Berlin sober would encompass other things.
Like the party drugs.
Yeah, like
probably.
party drugs,
Oh,
basically.
wow. Have you been to Berlin?
Yeah.
I love Berlin. That was a very fun place to party in. I would go back and party there for sure.
Yeah, I know. I would. You'd be staying up all night again.
That actually brings me to another point is that, it's called Party Girl Interrupted. We have my book here.
I'm so excited about this. There's so many people got these on the boat that I'm just happy you have more copies here because I want to read it.
Yeah. It was very limited and just kind of wanted to put it in hands and just something tangible. So yeah, it was really great. And then to be able to talk about the podcast and have guests like yourself, because there's just so many founders and entrepreneurs that are going through their own, interruption right now, whether it's burnout or, a pivot or relationship. There's so many people. So when they go to Summit, so I hope Summit is enjoying this plug for them.
Yeah, seriously. I know, Summit, we love you.
But there are a lot of people that are kind of right there, going through the shift. And actually something I want to ask you, if there is somebody that is going through a shift or finding that the life that they're living isn't fully aligned, but maybe they're scared to change, because that is a really big, scary step, what would you say to them?
I think I talk to women about this all the time. They're like I used to be, they're like, but what am I going to do? I want to go out for dinner with my friends, or I still want to meet people for drinks. And I was like that too, where I couldn't imagine doing that without having alcohol. I was just in New York with a new friend, and she was like, well, I have this new investor and I'm going to have to drink tonight. And another girl in our group was like, you don't have to. And she was like, no, I have to. And I understood no, I have to, because you can't fathom how you're going to
network
do it
and be in that space.
And I think, I would just say it just takes practice. No one really knows what to do. And it's always going to feel awkward when you start dipping your toe into going out and not drinking. I think it's for me, it was like any other muscle. I probably did feel uncomfortable for the first couple months, and now I don't even think about it. And for me to not think about it is unbelievable. You know, that's I couldn't even imagine being that person that wasn't partying the hardest.
Yeah.
In terms of I still feel like I party hard, but I'm just not ingesting.
You're not taking in the alcohol, there's a book, Quit Like a Woman.
Oh yeah, I love that by Holly Whitaker. Yeah.
Yeah. And so one of the things I remember resonated with me, because I did start reading that last year when I was like, okay, I think when I was sober, and I learned about the sober curious community and everything. But something that she says in the book that really has resonated with me is that, how normalized drinking alcohol is, to the point that when we are having a bad day or we're stressed, we need a drink. I need a drink, or let's get a drink. Why is the drink alcoholic? Why isn't the drink water or a juice? And it's just, that is how normalized it's become in our.
It's really normalized. I also want to say, we're lucky because we met in Miami. We're in LA now. We're in New York a lot. I think not drinking alcohol is more normalized in those cities. And I'm I still feel like a Midwesterner. I grew up in Wisconsin. I think it's less normalized in other places still. Even though non-alc people buy Little Saints in every state and everything, and people are more aware of it, I do think not going out and having a drink and not having it be alcoholic is still more acceptable in some places than others. So for the people that are in a place that it's maybe not as socially acceptable, I would just say it's all in the certainty that you're bringing to the situation. So there's two different ways to do it. You can go and you and I could be having a drink, and I could the person comes and asks you, what do you want to drink? I could immediately go into defensive mode and be like, I'm not drinking tonight, but it's because I'm not really feeling that well and I'm on antibiotics. And you start making all the excuses. And I think now what I just do naturally is just I'm certain about it. It's not even a question. So then it doesn't really invite questions from other people. So I think it's all in that the confidence energetics that you bring.
100%. It's interesting because what I've experienced is every time I say that, and I don't say it from I don't drink, I'm sober, or California sober. they're for the most part, the responses are honestly almost always yeah, I want to stop drinking too, or yeah, alcohol is really bad for me. But it's exactly what you said. They don't have the certainty to go into that, or some people do have addictive personalities, and that's going to be a whole nother ball game. Okay, so I also want to go back to the beginning, talk about Baby Mint trailer.
Oh yeah.
So you started selling out of
I started selling out of Baby Mint. That actually, oh my God, I'm thinking about it right now. It's a mint green vending trailer that lives in LA, and I just ignore the fact that she lives in LA, and I need to get her out of LA. Okay. But anyways, it was a mint green vending trailer that got a mint green glow up, and I would sell. So the first iteration of Little Saints was the little mint green cans, and they were these ugly 12-ounce cans. Now they're the cute little 8-ounce ones, but I did that. I started at Movement Music Festival in Detroit. Actually, it was really fun. I launched outside of the Spotlight Club, and I was like selling Little Saints to people that were going to the techno festival, and everyone kind of came up to the trailer with the same story. Everyone was like, I drank too much during the pandemic. I'm looking to like drink less. And it was like, no one wanted to quit. Everyone had sort of gotten interested in cannabis and mushrooms during that time. And it was like, they just wanted to have like alcohol be like a less part of their life. And so that was really fun. So that whole summer I hitched the damn trailer to my Jeep and I took it around to, I think 50 events. Like I have PTSD from it. Like I never want to see that trailer again, but like, it was great because nothing, when you have a beverage business or food, like there's nothing like being able to see someone's facial expressions when they try your drink. Like surveys don't do anything, you know, like if someone's like, ugh, or, you know, you can really get great feedback. So that whole, I did it, I like was selling in real life for 6 months before we launched our website.
Oh, wow.
So it was really like kind of grassroots and I got great feedback. I realized I was using too many words. I was like being too technical and I learned that people just really wanted like a sugar-free cocktail and like the mushrooms were an added bonus.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. I mean, I love, love, love the flavors. Like same thing. Like I think I said, I was like a tequila girl. So I love like margaritas and I love a spicy margarita, which you have, which is amazing as well. And so
you can make a good marg with this. This is our St. Amber. It's like supposed to be like a tequila mezcal alternative.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
So this is your, you know, starting phase. Like when did you realize you were building something big, like a brand?
I knew that the brand, like the physical aesthetic brand, I knew that the brand was really strong. Like I worked with the designer that I loved on it. And like, I knew that I wanted it to be big, but our first year and a half were really slow roll. Like I actually launched with a distributor in California and tried to get things off the ground and it was just like slow moving. So I think it was really 2023 when we started running Instagram ads and like people started like commenting on our posts a lot and we were getting a lot of organic traffic actually in 2023 when we were really building our direct to consumer brand, which is not the way I thought I would build a beverage brand. Like my background is just totally distributor truck. So like delivering to like grocery stores and retailers. And I thought that would be the path. And I never really expected to be running like a digitally native business, especially a beverage one. So I think that was like 2023 when we really started to pick up steam. And then 2024 was when I was on Shark Tank in October 2024. And that just like really blew everything up. And then now, you know, then that's when people sort of knew the name Little Saints on a national level and it got really fun.
Yeah, I remember. So we met at a movie. Remember there was like a screening. And so that was in 23 and you were talking about it. And then it started popping up in the community. It started popping up at Modern Ohm events. It started popping up at Summit.
Yeah.
And so I'm remembering that was your 2023. That's amazing.
Yeah, we met at Diana's Crown Affair. Like
that's what it was.
Event.
Oh my God.
I forgot what movie we watched that night.
It was something, Thomas Crown Affair.
Yeah, we did. Oh my God, my favorite movie and I love Crown Affair, dry shampoo.
When did it shift from like my solution, you know, of not wanting to drink or finding a non-alcoholic beverage that you actually liked to like, everybody needs this?
I think it really shifted. Well, it started to shift when it started to shift when I was doing all those events because I just saw like how much people needed this. You know, I used to sell salad dressing and like no one really needs a new salad dressing. Like I hate to say it, but they just don't. But then like when you start selling something that people are like outbound, like looking for and getting pissed off when they can't find it in stores and like getting pissed off when it's sold out, it's like you really can see that people need it. I think it really, honestly though, when it became big, we were picking up steam from Shark Tank and then January 2025 was when the Surgeon General came out with that warning saying like no amount of alcoholic drinks is good for you. Yeah. And then I think people were like, oh, everyone sort of had a little bit of a rumbling like, oh, maybe like alcohol doesn't make me feel that great. And then when that came out, I think it became more of for me, it was like a wellness thing that I just like to like push under the rug. I was like, well, I do all the wellness things during the day, so I don't need to look at what I do at night. And you just think about that. You're like, that makes no sense. I think other people started to see that. It was like really the beginning of 2025 when it sort of felt like a freight train. Yeah.
And you have an aura ring like me, right? Like, this will tell you one drink, everything plummets. One drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
I'm loving this. This is so good.
I'm glad. Yeah. And these
Cheers again.
Cheers again. Cheers again. Yeah. And I feel so much better now, like having my brain, like when you stop drinking, your brain just feels so much sharper, like so much crisper. And I just feel like I'm present. And now I can really like feel like the lion's mane and stuff. It's nice because I realize like, you think like, are mushrooms like just a fad? Like, is it going to be something new like in a year? But not at all.
Not at all. It's becoming legalized, but also just like, benefits of having mushrooms and kind of drinks and just like coffee and everybody. Mushrooms are on a stay because they are, you know what they do in your brain, the neuroplasticity, and like just keep you sharper and focused for sure. That's what I feel. What surprised you the most about how Little Saints like resonated with people?
I originally thought it would be the mushrooms part of it. I was always like kind of talking like sciencey, and I actually realized that mushrooms, people that like know and use mushrooms as supplements love them, but it was mostly like the alcohol alternative and like the craft of it and like the ability to make like really elevated top shelf cocktails with it. Originally in my brain, I thought of it more as like a wellness thing, and it's really fun actually because it's more of like it's more in like the spirits category. So it's fun. Like we get to like have events. I get to show up like, my job in quotes last night is like, we had a really fun party. We sponsored a party in the Hollywood Hills. And like we had a Little Saints bar and I got to meet all these people. And I just like had a moment where I just like felt great. So grateful. I'm like, I'm technically working right now. So I think it's really like me running a spirits company versus me running a wellness company. It was a surprise to me and really fun.
How did you feel now actually compared to how you felt back then and kind of the work hard, play hard era?
I don't remember feeling very present or centered at all.
Yeah.
I don't really think I was very aware.
Yeah.
Not even like I had to be drunk all the time, but I just wasn't, I didn't have any purpose.
Yeah.
I was like doing a job I didn't like. I was getting wasted and high all the time. So I felt like I was like really good at partying and socializing, but I don't even think I really knew who I was. And I remember, this is really interesting. I remember going out on dates and having guys be like, "What's on my shirt?" Because I couldn't look them in the eye.
Oh, you would
like I would always like be looking somewhere else.
Okay.
So I don't think I felt very confident in myself, and I don't even think I had any awareness of that.
Yeah.
But now I feel like I'm like here with you, Kathy. Like
Yeah.
we're having this discussion. I know that's a little bit like woo woo, but I just feel like now I'm like actually in my body and like really aware and present. Whereas before, I don't know. I was kind of just going through the motions. Like I was in this body, but not.
Yeah. Self-awareness, I always say, is a superpower because once you wake up or you have the interruption or the shift, or sometimes for people, it's that dark night of the soul. And what's really interesting here is like, I'm learning that you didn't have like a rock bottom. It wasn't some like big thing that, made you stop drinking. And it was more like the quiet revelation that, something didn't feel good. Something that you used to enjoy didn't feel good. And then you went ahead and created the answer.
Yeah. And I think for me, also physically, like the less I drank. So when I finally did Dry January successfully in 2021, and I started Little Saints like 5 months after, that was the first time that I had taken off like a full 5 weeks from alcohol. And then I started drinking again. So for the first year and a half, I did still drink little alcohol, but I would take more time off in between. And every time I drank, it just like lost its fun. Like I would just feel terrible the next day. Or if I didn't feel physically terrible, I would have that Catholic guilt. And I just like, there was a cycle, and I just thought like, I don't want to give alcohol so much of my brain space. I felt like even when I wasn't drinking about it, I was thinking about it. I'm just so happy to be like, there are many, many people that can like drink alcohol and not think about it all the time. I just wasn't one of them.
Oh, okay. Interesting. So the brand is really built around like, how do I continue to enjoy the ritual, the taste, the social part of it without the hangover?
Yeah, exactly.
That's so good. All right. I'm gonna have another bit. Yeah. Fill me up.
Top you up.
Yeah.
I think that's really important because people like that. No one, there's all those like Instagram memes right now of like women that are in their 40s are turning to raves for their mental health.
Yeah,
I just think that so many people are like, we want to connect more.
100%.
And like we were talking about like partying in the aughts in New York and stuff. Like, so people are like afraid. They're like, wait, if I don't drink, then I'm losing my only form of connection. So my purpose in this world is to show people like, no, you don't have to do that. Like I'm actually, advocating for you to go out more and like have something different in your glass. And I think that's like, once we can, I think we're just in a really interesting era of seeing the evolution of nightlife. I still don't think people know really what it is. Like when I first moved to Miami 3 years ago, I say this is so much love, but I was like, do I really want to do like a cacao ceremony? And like, do I really want to do like sound baths like at night? I feel like sometimes people, if we're not going to be drinking alcohol, it's kind of confusing what you're going to do at night. And I think now we're in a really fun and amazing place where we're going back to doing the things that we traditionally associated with alcohol, like dancing, staying up late, like, you know, still like going to a bar and having drinks, not having it be alcohol. Like you don't need to do a wellness thing at 10 p.m.
Yeah, no, I agree with that for sure.
Like,
all my first things, cacao, ecstatic dance, qigong was all in Asia. So very like traditional and like felt right there. And then coming back to the States, just kind of seeing where, I mean, we could delve into the spiritual community. It's tied into your brand as well, right? Like the community of like Miami wellness, LA, every city wellness.
Totally.
So I love seeing your perspective on that.
I like to, you know, I am like a Midwesterner in my thoughts. I like at heart, and I don't think like, maybe that's like a very like micro community of people that wants to do cacao ceremonies at night, but most people just like want to keep on doing what they're doing. And like, they don't want to have to fear like, I'm not going to have friends anymore. So you just like got to meet people where they're at. And then like, I think once I learned that, I was like, okay, let's just make this feel like normal. Like there's really no change except for what's in your glass. Like that seems to be what like resonates with most people.
I'm curious about how Gen Z is reacting to your product.
So it's so funny. Everyone's like, cause Gen Z is like the generation that's like drinking the least, but we don't, they're not, I wouldn't say they're our customer at all. Like most people, cause we're mostly direct to consumer, most people that buy Little Saints are over 40.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And they're like, they're like me, really. Like, it's like we grew up like drinking and partying and like just like don't want to be hungover anymore. And so, and they're also very alcohol adjacent, you know, like they taste spicy, like they've got a burn in your throat. Like if you're Gen Z and you've really never drank alcohol, you probably don't want this taste.
You don't miss that taste. You know, like you don't really know what it is, right? And so, this is the generation that's drinking the least.
Yeah.
Because I think people also don't like enjoy it. Like it was a spectacle to go out back in the day, like true, you know, like the bottle trains and like all the clubs, Lavo and Tao and all those clubs.
I would have like 6 glasses of champagne easily.
Oh my God. I used to be able to do this trick. I wish I could bring this back. I used to be able to do this trick. That I would, like, I don't think I could do this. I definitely can't do this anymore. I would hold the champagne glass here and then just like shoot it. And that makes it a shot. So I'm doing X amount of those a night. It was just a lot, but like, yeah, I mean, it was a lot of fun. And it was, like I said, it was a spectacle. Cause you know, I touch on this a lot, that it was visibility that you're buying in the club. It wasn't even the alcohol, but it was so much fun.
It was so fun.
It was so much fun. And so, yeah, even having a drink that, you know, for me brings that back with a little bit of the spice and that, I really, really love that.
Yeah.
So what's next for Little Saints?
We need to be on more like bar and restaurant menus and meeting people where they're at. Like we're mostly direct to consumer, which means like people are drinking us in their homes and they're like, you know, so you might have friends over and pour Little Saints, but like then you'll go to the bar or restaurant and it's not on menu. So it's really like expanding our wholesale program and getting into bars, restaurants, clubs. Like my personal goal is if there could be like a Little Saint Oak old fashioned on every non-alc menu, because like still, I feel like LA is really good at this, but so many non-alc menus are just juice in a glass and like no one wants that. Like 0 people want that. So it's like, if you can have everything in martini glass and old fashioned glass, like there's so much room to grow there.
And there's so much sugar in mocktails. That's my downfall too, is like, I'll be like, oh, I can get this like yuzu, elderberry, lemonade, grenadine. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot, you know this, there's a lot of sugar in the non-alcoholic.
No, and you're having like, I mean, you're having like 25 grams of sugar when you're having like a juice mocktail when you're out. And that's the reason that we don't drink, because we're like, oh, this is great. Like I don't have something that's inflammatory.
Right.
So... But I think it's cool though, because I just was in New York tasting with all these like amazing bartenders, and people are really starting to get it.
Yeah.
Like they're like, okay, I'm like, don't put it in a Collins glass. And they're like, no, like they're doing martinis, they're doing espresso martinis. It's fun.
Yeah, it's really fun. So what new brands this is for me, what new flavors are coming out?
Oh, so we just launched our classic spritz, which is like an Aperol spritz thing. We have a Hugo spritz. Oh. I don't know if you ever drank Hugo spritz. It's like elderflower, Saint Germain and sparkling wine. So we have a Hugo spritz coming out. And then I really want to do more of the browns. Okay. Like the Saint Oak is like the bestseller on the website. So I feel like we need more. I feel like we kind of nailed the brown liquor alternative. Like I want to do more of the browns.
Okay. Do you feel like that leans more towards the male demographic, or does it matter?
A little bit, but also we did a great survey where we talked to like 100 people last summer, and the women were asking for like bourbon too. They so I feel like it's equal.
Okay, very cool. And what's next for Megan?
Oh my gosh, I am so happy to. So when you know this. When you're a sole founder, you start out doing everything. And then like, I think I went through the past couple years of hiring a team and feeling very like uncomfortable giving up some control.
Right.
And now I'm like happily giving up control. I mean, it's like asinine. I've been our head of sales for the first 5 years,
Oh,
which like
wow.
it shouldn't have done. And I don't know why it took us
You
this
wore all
long.
the hats.
All the hats. And so finally like hiring a head of sales, which will allow me to have more time to be strategic and like, you know, just like help think about where we're going in the future rather than just, I'm really tired of blocking and tackling. I just feel like I'm like,
Time to delegate.
yeah, it's time to delegate.
Can we talk a little bit about dating?
Oh yeah,
which
of
is
course.
a disaster everywhere. But would you date somebody who drank?
Yeah, I mostly have.
Oh, okay. And
Yeah.
how did they react? Has anybody stopped drinking dating you?
No. I think, you know, it's interesting. Like the first time, I'll just say this, like the first time I had sex with someone who was like drunk and I was sober, I was kind of like,
Oh, wow.
like we're totally not.
You're not connected at all.
We're not connected at all. So I think for me, I don't mind if people drink alcohol at all. Like all my friends and family still drink. But when I'm dating someone, it's the real difference of like dating someone who drinks and you're always in search of a drink versus dating someone who drinks who might just have a drink once in a while.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to go on a weekend vacation with someone and always have to be like, when are we going to get the next drink?
Right.
Like that's not a line. But like if we're just sitting down and you happen to be having a drink, I don't really care.
Yeah.
And I really don't want to be having like sex when one person is wasted and I'm not.
Yeah, no, it's definitely drunk sex is not like.
What about you? Like, how do you? Yeah, like dating and alcohol or.
That
dating.
I guess it doesn't bother me, but it is funny. Like I said, that reaction. A lot of time, men are like, "Oh, you know, I want to stop too," or like, "Yeah, that's really great for you," or whatever. It hasn't been an issue. Again, I don't really date, but but yeah. Okay, I think those are my questions. Do you have any questions for me?
I do. I mean, well, like when you haven't drank for a year and a half, like, did you have a time where it felt like a awkward transition for you, or how did it feel like transitioning away from it?
So I stopped drinking at the beginning of last year, right? Oh, the beginning of 2025. Yeah. I went through a breakup. I think you knew this at the end of 24, and I kind of went for that Art Basel week, like balls to the wall. I was just like, I'm going to do, like, I was so sad. I was like, I'm just going to do everything.
I'm going to party my face off.
Exactly. Not sleep and just party my face off, even though I was just completely like heartbroken the whole time. And then finally I was like, this is going to be a rough come down. Like I know this, like, you know, I partied all through Basel and that was my 5th Basel. So I've done it quite a bit. But I was like, if I lean on alcohol, if I lean on, you know, any other substance, like I'm not going to get through this. Like I'm just going to numb myself and prolong the pain there. And then also really honestly, I wanted to respect the no contact with my ex. And I was like, and if I drink, I'm going to call, I'm going to text,
sure.
you know, like, so for me, it was that. And then it just felt good. I just felt good. I would be at places. And again, LA, it's quite easy to be sober or California sober because there were mocktails and everything. And so I didn't have an issue with it here, I guess. Maybe it would have been different in Miami because like we're always going out and it's such a party city, but I didn't have any issue with it here. I'm still looking for a good non-alcoholic wine because I do love the taste of wine. Do you have any suggestions? Can you make one?
Oh my God, I'm like totally forgetting the
That's okay.
brand name. Yeah, I'll send it to you. It's a German one. The Germans make some good white wines.
Yeah.
They're not like perfect, but I know the wines. Like I do miss, like I still haven't tried a good red.
I can't.
You know, like having a steak with a good red.
That is like the only time, or if I see like a really pretty mezcalita margarita, then I'm like, but now I have like, I can get that from you, you know what I mean? Yeah. But definitely, wine was probably the hardest to give up because eating out or anytime like something like a steak, like a good Malbec. Ooh.
Yeah.
Somebody can create an alcoholic Malbec. God.
But I love what I think that's like a real superpower of like not numbing when you're going through something. Yeah. Like so I have been processing since I quit. It'll be 4 years in September. I feel like I've like been processing so much stuff that happened to me before when I was still drinking that I just never processed it because I was so used to numbing out. And then, you know, my sister died in August and I just raw dogged it, you know, like I was like sober throughout the whole thing and not like it made it easier, but I do feel like it's a superpower because I can kind of hold all of it. Whereas I feel like when I was numbing out, I just, you know, you've only got so much room.
100%. That's true. Numbing it too doesn't allow it to go through you. And it's going to be painful, obviously. You know, I'm so sorry for your loss and the grief, and it's not linear, but like if you are just numbing yourself, it's not going to heal. You're not on your way to healing. And so that was my experience with going sober. And yeah, I think that it's a beautiful thing that we're becoming self-aware, kind of as a people, as a culture. We're realizing like,
Yeah, the
doesn't
culture
have to
is
be,
too.
it doesn't just have to be alcohol all the time. So where can we find you and Little Saints?
You can find littlesaints.com, and then also we're at Sprouts, we're at
Okay.
Whole Foods in California and Florida.
Nice.
And then like lots of bars and restaurants are popping up. You can find it on our website.
Okay, that's so exciting.
Yeah.
What about your socials?
At Little Saints Co. on Instagram and TikTok, and then I'm Megan Klein.
Yeah, and guys, you have to check out the Instagrams, like even the website. Everything that's aesthetic is just so you and unique and just fun to follow. So definitely that.
Thank you.
So the thing that I take away from the conversation is that like it wasn't a big like revelation in terms of like some type of rock bottom, or like the shift for you was that quiet kind of realization that like didn't feel good anymore. You didn't want to do it anymore, but you wanted to keep the ritual and the socializing and just the taste. And you really had the courage to listen to that voice and create an amazing product brand. And yeah, and I'm so glad that we met when we did as well, because I have been following your journey from 2023 through your, fundraising and with having the cojones to just like say no on Shark Tank and walk away from that. And so it's been amazing to have you on. I'm so glad we connected.
I am too. I'm so happy.
I look forward to doing this again.
It's so fun.
Cheers again.
Cheers.
We'll have a bunch of these.
Cheers.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
If this episode resonated with you, go ahead, follow, share, listen to Party Girl Interrupted wherever you get your podcasts. This is Party Girl Interrupted. See you guys next week.